24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Or maybe you have to leave the area. I have to leave the area on Tuesday. I've got to go up to beautiful Pikeville, Tennessee, and I will definitely have Hot News Talk Radio on my TuneIn app. It's a free app. Yes, it's a free app. So if you have a smartphone, just download it and just scroll down, hit local, scroll down, and boom, you can listen to Hot News Talk Radio anywhere, anytime. We want you to be part of our community. And the easy way to do that is on Twitter and on Facebook. Both of them are the same, Hot News Talk Radio. If you are a Twitterite or a Facebooker, either one, Hot News Talk Radio. On Twitter, keep in mind, we'd love to know what's going on. If you see a traffic incident, if you see a major news story, something happening that you feel is relevant and you want the rest of Chattanooga and the world to know, because you are going to report, and then we're going to let the world decide, and of course Chattanooga decides. So that's pretty simple. It's Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Okay, we got some heavy lifting on the Mr. Judd Show that's going to come here in just a little bit. But first of all, I've got some things I need to get out of the way. Yesterday was a nice showing down in front of the courthouse. The federal building on Georgia Avenue, as Chattanoogans for Justice made their stand for Lieutenant Commander Timothy White. And I tell you what, if you go to Nooganomics.com, just go to Nooganomics.com. David has written a great article about that, and he can do it justice, but it was really good. You know, the old saying, if you say how many people you want or you say how many things you want, it works out that you're going to get those things. And they wanted about a half a dozen there, and they got about a half a dozen there, had a lot of onlookers, had a lot of people walk in and out and you know, give their thumbs up. We had one person that was protesting, and the funny part about it, he was protesting the totally wrong thing. So I don't know, it was actually rather comical to hear him protesting something that wasn't even close to what was happening down there. Well, thank everybody for being a part of that, and thank you for the news coverage. That's a very important issue, and thank you to Chrissy Essex for organizing Chattanoogans for Justice. She's done a great job with that. Then I had to streak back to the studio because our sports guy in the afternoon, Clutch, with Keon Rose, you know, he's feeling his oats. Younger guy, he really thinks, you know, and he does. He knows sports. He does. But he may have overdone himself this time. He may have crossed over the River Jordan and met Mr. Judd, and he don't want any part of Mr. Judd. We did some picks yesterday. We did some college picks. We're going to do this every week, and every week you'll hear me talk about how bad I've beat Keon, and how, you know, after 2 or 3 weeks into this, Keon's probably going to say, maybe I shouldn't pick against you. I should come to you for advice. So we had a good time on his show yesterday doing that. I'm just going to go through them right quick on my show. The teams that we are picking for, we're taking 10 teams a week, and then our picks. And then, of course, on Tuesday this week, since there's a game, the last game is on Monday night. College football is on Monday night this Labor Day weekend. We're going to go back, and he will have to humble himself before me. He will have to kiss the great ring and say, you are the master. But here's the teams that we picked, and we were picking Alabama and Wisconsin, and we both took Bama. We were picking Texas and Notre Dame, and as you know, poor Keon. He's a Texas fan. I feel sorry for him. Of course, he's taking Texas, and I took Notre Dame, so there I'm one up on him there. We're picking Ohio State and Virginia Tech, which is actually the Monday night game. He took Ohio State, and I took Virginia Tech, so I'm up 2 on him right now. So it's going to be hard for him to recover. Of course, the game of the weekend, the most important game of all, is UTEP at Arkansas, and he had to humble himself before me and take Arkansas. So, you know, he's learning. His learning curve is getting a little there. So we both took Arkansas. Then we have Arizona State, Texas A&M. We both took Arizona State, so we're still even there. And then the one that hurt me to take, Bowling Green and Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you, we didn't take odds on this. We're throwing the odds out. It's just a straight-up pick. So I did take Tennessee, and that hurts. And that's something you probably will not hear me do much of the season as we get in and start taking odds on these things. But we both took Tennessee. Then New Mexico State and Florida. And it's at Florida. I don't know what Keon was thinking, but he took New Mexico State. He says he thinks there's going to be an upset with everything that's going on at Florida, the new coach and all that. So I had to take Florida. So I'm up 3 on him already. I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to be, he's not going to want to come into the station on Tuesday. And then Richmond at Maryland, we both took Maryland. Mississippi State versus Southern Miss, we both took Mississippi State. And then finally, Auburn at Louisville, he took Auburn. He's buying into the hype, and that's all it is. And I took Louisville. And that's new theme music.
Through the afternoon with more sunshine, still mainly dry.
We're testing out some new things here in the studio. We've done a complete remodel, and we're doing this really for the YouTube broadcast. So if you're not, you should watch us on YouTube live. Like right now, you can see my bright and smiling faces. What they do, the clothes or lack of clothes that I wear sometimes, like I did with Keon yesterday, I was completely naked. You know, that kind of makes him a little off kilter, but he'll get used to it. I mean, I was completely naked. I had shoes on. Let me rephrase. I had my shoes on during Keon's show, but we're doing some studio updates. And so you may hear some things going on. We've had some computer glitches during our studio updates. You know, we've got a lot of construction people in and out, and we got it. So if you hear some noise, if you hear, you know, if you hear someone scream or something like that, because they're bad just to walk in the bathroom when the other folks around here trying to go. So it's, you know, it's been a unique day or two here at the radio station, but that's okay. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for you, the listener, as David Tulis would say, and I'm going to say for you, the viewer. I don't know how many viewers I have on YouTube. I know when you know, we brought, I think we brought EPB down the other day. We had so many viewers on YouTube trying to stream in to get it, you know, to get a look at Mr. Gorgeous here. I mean, why not? Why not? We are going to continue the discussion that David Tulis began on the David Tulis Show, which he's here from 9 to 11 every day. And we're going to continue that. And really the second part of this hour. And there's something I'm going to play that I want you to hear. So maybe you get your friends and your neighbors and, you know, maybe call your children or call your mom and dad or somebody. You want to hear this. I think it's very important because it all began with the High Sheriff of Hamilton County, what he said on Monday. And this thing's kind of snowballed. And so far, he has not recanted what he said, which is, to me, is very, I mean, what a, you know, very stand-up guy. So we're going to go through that. I know David talked about it his first hour, and I want to continue that because there's some things that I want to talk about, give my thoughts on what he said and give my thoughts on some of the reactions. And that way, you know, that's what this radio station's here for. That's what Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240 is for us to give you news, give you analysis, and give you talk. You know, we're a local radio station, but we're locally owned. You know, there's a lot of local radio stations that aren't locally owned. They're owned by a big corporate entity. And so they are really, their hands are tied what they can do, but not here. You know, we're going to give you the honest opinions. We're going to give you the honest truth. The honest truth. I don't know if that goes together or not. Anyway, we're going to give you the news. We're going to let you decide and report that news, but we're going to give you, you know, our analysis of the news, which I think is important because of this. It reaffirms what you already believe. Most people in Chattanooga can listen to this radio station, and a lot of people do. I mean, it's growing every day. And they say, you know what, you guys think and say the way I think and talk. And so it's really relatable. I mean, it's really relatable. And, you know, our local programming is outstanding for that because of, you know, you got the David Tulis Show kicks off at 9 o'clock and Nooganomics. I mean, he's all about Chattanooga, the economy of Chattanooga, the political situation here in Chattanooga. Then you got myself, who some people would say is a different take on things. And we try to smile and have a good time on the show. And we do that, but there's sometimes, you know, you got to get in and do you got to get in and let people know what, how you feel and think, and give people information to help them form their opinions. Then after me is the digital drive with the adolescent. And I mean, he brought it yesterday. Boy, he hammered Hillary Clinton. It was good to hear him say that. He hammered her pretty good. And I think he's going to go through some of those things today. He said he will not talk about earthworms anymore. That was too controversial, had too many calls, had too many, the station's phones in the back blew up when he started going on about earthworms and how he's really anti-earthworm and all of that. But didn't realize there were so many people that were pro-earthworm out there. So see, you got to listen to these shows every day, or you're like, what is Mr. Judd talking about? Well, if you would have listened on Tuesday, you would have known. And then we've got the Clutch with Keon Rose. He's a sports guy. He's a great sports guy, understands one thing, and the only thing he really doesn't have a good concept on is picking college football games, and we're going to show him that on Tuesday. And, of course, we have Sean Hannity. Everybody knows Sean Hannity, here we go again. Well, wasn't that fun? I love that. That is fun. It's kind of a little kicker, kind of wake you up. Here we go. So, but Sean Hannity is the number 2 talk show host in the nation. And then after him, we've got our local news and weather and traffic. And then we got Cowboy up with Tex. I saw Tex yesterday. It was good seeing him. I didn't realize that he not only does he wrangle cattle, but he's a rattlesnake wrangler. That's right. He handles rattlesnakes, and he loves it. So that's kind of his hobby. Not scared of them, man. He said, and then of course they catch them, while they were on the cattle drive, he would take them, catch them, kill them, and eat them. And he said that was one of the most nourishment things they had on that cattle drive, a 2-week cattle drive from Waco to Chicago. Only Cowboy Tex could do that. So you got to listen to him. And he comes on from 6 to 7. Like I said, we're going to get into some heavy lifting after this. We want to talk about what Jim Hammond said about Islam. And this is a man that would know. I mean, with his background, he knows. And then I'm going to play something special. I want you to take 7 minutes out of your day. You need to take this 7 minutes out of your day to listen what you're going to learn about Islam. It's 3 things, but it's 3 very, very important things. And the reason I'm going ahead and telling you now is that I want you to get your neighbors. Call all of your neighbors. Call your kids. Call your siblings. Call everybody you know. They need to hear this. They can go to hotnewstalkradio.com. They can listen at AM 1240. They can get on the TuneIn app.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Heating up out there through the afternoon with more sunshine. Still mainly dry for a while. Highs 90 to 92 tonight. Lows 68 to 71. For Friday, another mostly sunny, hot, dry day. Highs lower 90s with a few isolated afternoon showers and storms returning Saturday. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Come see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette, or online at jacksongm.com. Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ford.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Costa, host of the Costa Report, every Sunday at 9 a.m. If there's one person we can turn to explore the role debate moderators and members of the press play in shaping elections, it's legendary news anchor Jim Lehrer. Don't miss my guest Jim Lehrer this Sunday at 9 a.m. in the Costa Report, right here on AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
Here you are, working to keep your customers happy and to manage your cash flow. IRS problems are the last thing you need, but here they are, flapping about you like vultures. Get help from Eric Pelton and his team of accountants at E.J. Pelton Company. Audits, letters, proposed return changes, 1099s, penalty threats. Pelton Tax Resolution Services brings peace of mind and helps you keep more of what you've earned. EJPelton.com. Offices on Brainerd Road and in Saudi Daisy, just north of the Bilo. That's E.J. Pelton. Call 622-3156. Think ahead, 622-3156.
When my brother and I opened the first Jets Pizza, we believed if we made the best pizza, customers would find us. So we made fresh dough each day, used fresh toppings, and premium mozzarella cheese. 300-plus stores later, we still do.
Try Jet's famous 8-corner pizza with premium mozzarella cheese and 1 topping, now just $11.99 for a limited time only. Jet's Pizza, the best pizza in town. 3600 Hickson Pike.
Life is short. Eat better pizza.
Let's get Jets. Are you tired of working in corporate America, or have you recently lost your job and would like to consider owning your own business? If you are, please call me, as I can help you look at franchises or business opportunities that fit you, the economy that we're in, and the type of businesses that are right in the greater Chattanooga area. After I help my clients find the right opportunity, I also help them find the best way to finance the business, including paying yourself through the startup phase. If you would like to learn more about opportunities that may be right for you, please call me for a free assessment. My name is Bruce Krebs at the Entrepreneur Source. Phone number is 423-87. 875-5621.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is the Mr. Judd Show. Happy to be here on a Thursday, a semi-sunny Thursday. It's supposed to be hot today. Hot. It's going to be above 90, so we're getting our August weather in September. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You can hear us at hotnewstalkradio.com. You can go get the TuneIn app, which is free. Download it on your smartphone. Stick your earbuds in. Boom, boom, boom. Click down. Very simple. Hit local, then just scroll down, and you can listen to us anywhere at any time. Okay, we're going to get into, I don't know if you've heard this or not. I would hope so if you're keeping up what's going on in the world. Sheriff Jim Hammond actually spoke before the Pachyderm Club on Monday. Okay, and this is coming from the Times Free Press. It says that he spoke on Monday, and he told the Hamilton County Pachyderm Club that Islam is communism with a god. You know what? I could almost agree with that. In fact, I can agree with that. I think he's absolutely correct. And I think what you're going to hear on my show today is going to point that out. But, you know, he comes from an authority of not just the sheriff of Hamilton County. It says Hammond, who spent 3 years training police officers in the Middle East and previously served as a chaplain's yeoman in the U.S. Navy, said that Islam is the strongest infringement we've had in our country as a constitutional government since communism. Now, I know it's incensed a lot of people that probably don't know anything about Islam except for the, Muslims, and they should know. And there's probably, when you hear my next segment, you're going to know why they're incensed. He says he plans to speak with the Tennessee sheriffs soon to help monitor activity of Muslims throughout the state. He wants to meet with education leaders to discuss mentions of Islam's and Christians in textbooks. Now, this is our sheriff that is actually doing with this issue what he should be doing, which I think is very, very important. Okay. He said, according to Hammond, more than 2,000 mosques or Islamic centers have opened in the U.S. in the past 24 years. He warned that citizens and law enforcement need to move vigilant about these Islamic activities, and they should. I mean, they should. And, if you look and you listen, my next segment, which is very important, like I said, call people and let them know. So you need to be listening to Hot News Talk Radio right now. You need to listen to AM 1240 because they're going to want to hear this. It's 3 things that every American needs to know about Islam, and it's going to kind of make you think, if nothing else. And that's what I want to do. Today, I want to make you think. Tomorrow, I may want to make you laugh. Then Mondays, I might want to make you cry. And then Tuesdays, I'll make you angry. We're going to go through the gamut of emotion. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. I know, I hear you, Russell. Okay, I'm back, Russ. I hear you. Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry. Anyway, in this article from the Times Free Press, it says, after the meeting, he stressed he was not trying to say all Muslims are dangerous and wants to overthrow the U.S. government. Now, once you hear my segment coming up next and what I'm going to be playing, he might want to, if he hears it, which I know he's probably listening. I mean, who doesn't listen to the Mr. Judd Show? Everybody does. So he's probably going to go, I want to, of all of this, I want to keep that statement in there. Even if only 5% of the 1.2 billion to 1.5 billion Muslims out there were to want to perform jihad, that's a heck of a lot of people, says Hammond. Now, look, so far he has not backed off these statements. And he's had, the ACLU, other groups, religious groups have come at him and want him to apologize, and he has not. I want you to support the sheriff on this issue. Don't let him back off on this. He's right. He's doing what's right. So please do not back down, Sheriff Hammond. Take a book out of Trump's playbook. Now, I'm not the biggest Trump fan in the world, but take a page out of his playbook and say, you know what, I said it, I mean it, and I'm not backing down. I'm a man that, has a spine. And all of these other groups aren't going to twist me and shame me into recanting this, because it's true. Now, the next segment, right now, take the time right now to call your friends and neighbors, to let people know they no matter where they're at, they go to hotnewstalkradio.com and they can listen to the next segment. It takes about 7 minutes. It's going to be the most eye-opening 7 minutes of your life, and that's coming up. Make sure they know. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. Time to have a little backbone like the sheriff. Tell these ding-dang old Muslims we know what they're up to. This is the Mr. Judd Show.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Heating up out there through the afternoon with more sunshine. Still mainly dry for a while. Highs 90 to 92 tonight. Lows 68 to 71 for Friday. Another mostly sunny, hot, dry day. Highs lower 90s with a few isolated afternoon showers and storms returning Saturday. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Come see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette, or online at jacksongm.com. Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ford.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, and myself for all the action.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Join me for a delicious barbecue dinner that's a fundraiser for Union Gospel Mission. We're serving up barbecue, either pork or chicken, slaw, baked beans, and dessert, all on Labor Day to support our ministry to homeless guys. We'll be at table on Monday, Labor Day, at New Haven Baptist Church at 1058 Graysville Road, right at the intersection of East Brainerd Road. We'll serve from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. or until the barbecue runs out. This is John Rector, and the meal is free, but with joyous hearts, we will accept donations. All proceeds go straight to Union Gospel Mission to support our Christian programs for men who commit to stay and study with us. For more information, give me a call at 752-4998. The name is John, and we're looking forward to seeing you.
If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably run for president of the Southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd have had it made.
NASCAR.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Lillian Wu. The judge in the Deflategate court case tossing out Tom Brady's 4-game suspension.
The Patriots quarterback cleared to suit up for his team's season opener next week. The surprise ruling by the U.S. District Judge Richard Berman came after more than a month of failed settlement talks between the NFL and its players' union. Many legal experts believe the judge was merely pressuring both sides to settle when he criticized the NFL's handling of the case at 2 hearings in August.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. The Kentucky clerk who refuses to grant marriage licenses to same-sex couples speaks exclusively to Fox Radio's Todd Starnes, who asks her,
Are you prepared to go to jail tomorrow?
I am. I sure am.
Kim Davis appearing today before a federal judge who could hold her in contempt of court for defying a Supreme Court ruling. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is. Now, I've given you ample time to gather your friends and neighbors. Get your pitchforks and spears. You need to hear what I'm about to play, and I'm going to set this up. It's 3 things. By the way, you're listening to Mr. Judd Show on Hot News Talk Radio, 1240 a.m. This is 3 things that everybody needs to know about Islam, okay? And they're 3 very important things. Listen to what this man says. Also, if you follow me on Twitter, which is EL Judd, at EL Judd on Twitter, I'm going to tweet this out right after I play this, because I think it's that important. It's also going to be on my Facebook page, and it is going to be on, we're probably going to get it on the Hot News Talk Radio Facebook page. So you definitely need to go ahead and like us there. And then we'll also probably tweet it out on our Hot News Talk Radio too. So you need to follow us on both Twitter and Facebook, and it's very simple, Hot News Talk Radio. You're listening to the Mr. Judd Show, and I want you to take just 7.5 minutes out of your busy day to listen to this.
1. Islam has not been hijacked. That Islam has been hijacked is what non-Muslims naturally assume, because they assume all religions are the same. The reason non-Muslims are so easily confused is that most of us don't realize the difference between the Quran and every other religious book we are familiar with. The Christian Bible is a collection of writings from various authors, written sometimes hundreds of years apart, with parables, advice, and dreams, all collected together into one book. Same with the Jewish Torah. Even those of us in the West, who are neither Christians nor Jews, are still familiar enough with these religions to know this much, and therefore we assume the same is true for the Quran. But the Quran is only one book written by one man in his own lifetime. It is meant to be taken literally, and it's not full of symbolism or vague analogies. It is mostly direct commands. Of course, the Quran contains contradictory statements, just like other religious books. But the Quran itself provides the reader with a way to know what to do with the contradictions. It's explained in the Quran that if you have two passages that contradict each other, the one written later supersedes the one written earlier. Most Westerners are unaware that the peaceful, tolerant passages were written early in Muhammad's prophetic career. According to the Quran, those passages have been abrogated by later, more violent and less tolerant passages. So, when most Westerners hear jihadists quoting violent passages from the Quran, and then peaceful Muslims quoting peaceful passages, they interpret that the way they would if someone was quoting the Bible or the Torah. They think to themselves, oh, there must be many different and contradictory passages, like there are in other religious books, so Muslims can pick and choose what they like and justify whatever actions they want to take. But the Quran is nothing like that. There is no picking and choosing. It says very explicitly and in no uncertain terms that a Muslim must not alter or ignore any part of its very clear and direct message, or they will burn in a fiery torment forever. Two, striving to institute worldwide Sharia law is a religious duty. Many people don't realize how politically oriented Islam is at its core. In fact, Islam is less of a religion than it is a religious ideology. It includes a mandatory and highly specific legal and political plan for the whole society, Sharia. There is no separation between the religious and the political in Islam. Rather, Islam and Sharia constitute a totalitarian means of ordering society at every level, including ritual worship, transactions and contracts, morals and manners, beliefs and punishments. In the Quran, Allah makes it clear that man-made governments, such as a democracy, and free speech, such as criticizing the Quran, are abominations and must be eliminated. The modern expression creeping Sharia is used to describe the slow, deliberate, and methodical advance of Islamic law in non-Muslim countries. Official Sharia courts already operate in the UK, handling cases ranging from divorce and financial disputes to domestic violence. Attempts to introduce Sharia in the legal system in Germany, Sweden, and other European countries are ongoing. While Sharia already has a foot in our door in the matter of minor disputes like inheritance and domestic violence, it should concern you that Sharia commands that drinkers and gamblers should be whipped, allows husbands to hit their wives, allows an injured plaintiff to exact legal revenge, literally an eye for an eye, commands that a thief must have a hand cut off, commands that homosexuals must be executed, orders unmarried fornicators to be whipped and adulterers to be stoned to death, orders death for both Muslim and non-Muslim critics of Muhammad, the Quran, and even Sharia itself, orders apostates to be killed, commands offensive, aggressive, and unjust jihad. As written in the Quran, Sharia is the law of Allah. Any other form of government is a sin. It is the duty of every Muslim to keep striving until all governments have been converted to Sharia law. Three, Muslims are allowed to deceive non-Muslims if it helps Islam. For non-Muslims, this principle, called taqiyya, is another surprising concept of Islam. While most other religions speak highly of truthfulness, the Quran instructs Muslims to lie to non-Muslims about their beliefs and their political ambitions to protect and spread Islam. There are many examples of today's Islamic leaders saying one thing in English for the Western press and then saying something entirely different to their own followers in Arabic a few days later. Deceiving the enemy is always useful in war, and Islam is at war with the non-Islamic world until the whole world follows Sharia law. All non-Muslims living in non-Islamic states are therefore enemies. So deceiving Westerners is totally acceptable, even encouraged, if it can forward the goals of the spread of Islam. As a recent example, the Islamic American Relief Agency was seemingly raising money for orphans, but in fact giving the money to terrorists. They deceived good-hearted Western infidels into giving money to organizations that were actively killing Western infidels. Do the research yourself. This is not an isolated case. Islam as a religion of peace. Muslim organizations worldwide often declare that Islam is a religion of peace. But what does that really mean? It seems easy for a Muslim to quote a peaceful verse from the early part of the Quran, while, by following the principle of taqiyya, neglecting to mention the fact that it has been officially abrogated by later, more violent verses. According to the Quran, the world will be at peace only when Islam and Sharia reign in every country, and never until then. This is why every Muslim can truthfully say that Islam is a religion of peace. If any of these points took you by surprise, then there is surely much more you still don't know. This subject will affect you in the near future, so take the chance to inform yourself now before it does.
Okay. I would say the same thing that he said. Find out more about this so-called religion. Find out more, and then you'll see that Sheriff Jim Hammonds was correct. He knows these people. He's lived there. As the great David Tulis said, you know, he's been in the cafes of the Middle East. He's lived in the Middle East 2 years. He's trained these people. He's interacted with these people. So, you know, if they're saying they want peace and love, they're one or two things. They're either, as he just said, they're lying to us, or they're not following the Quran. So which one is it? I think that's an interesting debate that we'll have to have sometime. I hope this has made you think. I hope this has made you kind of look at the religion in a different way. And I know there's some bleeding hearts out there that are anti-religion anyway, and they're going to go and, you know, they're going to come back against this. That's okay. That's okay. But I think when he said that this is more a kinship to communism than it is a religion, I'm talking about Sheriff Jim Hammonds, he's correct. They want to take over the world. They are in a war with us. When I say us, that's everyone that's not a practicing Muslim. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you practice it, believe it or not, they're at war with us. And we need to act like we're at war, not just over in the Middle East. I think the war is here in the U.S. The war was brought to Chattanooga when not an extremist, but a Muslim that was doing as Muhammad told him to do in the Quran, attack the
Heating
infidels.
up out there through the afternoon with more sunshine. Still mainly dry for a while. Highs 90 to 92 tonight. Lows 68 to 71. For Friday, another mostly sunny, hot, dry day. Highs lower 90s with a few isolated afternoon showers and storms returning Saturday. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Come see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette, or online at jacksongm.com. Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Pat Report.
And now for a little musical interlude. We are back. The Mr. Judd Show. We just wanted you to have the weather, and we got a caller coming in. So hold on just a second. But we just wanted you to have the weather because we feel like the weather was so important at that time that we thought that, you know, after you took that deep thought, after I give you that to munch on or to feast on, you needed the weather. Because you may have lost, you know, totally lost where you're at, what you're doing, and bam, here, you know, I need the weather. If you don't mind, can I have some weather right now just to kind of collect my thoughts? So I thought that was very interesting, and I have tweeted out the link so you can see this for yourself. And it actually has it has a video with it where you can actually read what he's talking about in case you couldn't understand him. And you know what? It's pretty good because to me, it sounds as though this person that did the voice is probably of Middle Eastern descent. And you see everything they're doing. You see them attacking their own people. You see them attacking Christians. You see them attacking innocents. And the horrific things that they're doing, they're following the Quran. Now, I know the local Muslims here and the Muslims in the U.S. and the liberals and the Democrats, they don't want to hear that, but it's true. They're either not following the Quran if they say they're a peaceful people, or they're lying to deceive us. Which one is it? Which one is it? And I would love for him to call in and say, well, we're not following the Quran. We're, you know, or yeah, we are deceiving you, which I don't think they're going to do. But I think Sheriff Jim Hammonds, he has kind of hinted at that. So that kind of gives you the idea there that, you know, he didn't come out and say it, but he knows it. You know, I'm sure after living 2 years in the Middle East, he has a pretty good understanding of the Quran. I mean, he probably had to, just because of he's training these people in the police force for these other countries. He's got to have an understanding because it's so prevalent there. So I'm sure that he, you know, he kind of in a roundabout way said that. So he didn't come out and say it. I think he's a man of courage for saying what he said about the people that he knows and the religion, the quote unquote religion that he knows. But did you hear what they said? They said that, you know, with Sharia law, that's a form of government, and it's an unwilling government, which really I don't understand, because the Democrat Party, the liberals, they're all about women's rights. You know, they have to have the right to decide. I now sound like Confederate Mike. Can't do that. Sorry, Confederate Mike, I'm stepping on your toes and I won't do that. But they say that the woman has a right to decide because women's issues and rights are so important. But yet what they're doing in the Middle East, and we can't say anything about the Muslims either. You know, they can kill women, behead women, as the great David Tulis, the doctor of the radio station, the professor here at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, the one and only. As he said this morning, they take women to rape, to breed. They don't look at women as human beings. They're a breeding tool. Okay? And that's in their religious book. So stop and think about that. In their religious book, that's what they're taught. So think about it. Do what was said in the audio broadcast. Do your research. Okay? Do your research. And I think it's very important. And I think Jim Hammonds is a brave man as the High Sheriff of Hamilton County to stand up and say this and bring this to our attention. You know, there's all kind of material you can get out there. You can go get a Quran and see where in the beginning it is, you know, a clean way of living. And then it's like a cutoff. And then it becomes a manual for jihad, for murder, for what Christians would call sin. But it's part of their religion. If you're an infidel, you should die. I mean, think about that. Anyway, doing a little heavy lifting, doing some serious stuff here on the Mr. Judd Show. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio. Now it's hot today, wasn't it? We've been smoking hot. I mean, it was like the stove was on fire today. I tell you what, he's got the #1 show here, the Adolescent and Digital Drive. Try following me today, big boy. It's like, you know, when you want to argue with your parents and your parents always win. He's got a tough one. You got the tough act to follow. I follow the great David Tulis every day, so I always have a tough act. But today, the Adolescent on Digital Drive, he's got the tough act to follow. He better break out the high kicks and the earthworms is all I have to say. And did you notice, if you're watching on YouTube, I have not been juggling cats. So you know this has been a very serious day on the Mr. Judd Show. Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. We're going to bring you news. We're going to bring you analysis. You know what? I guarantee you this. There's not another radio station in this city that would play something like we just played. Not one. I dare them. They're arguing the other side. Well, you know, there are nice Muslims and we all need to get along, and you just don't understand them. Well, maybe we do. Maybe they don't want people to understand them. Okay? Maybe the big corporate places, maybe they don't want us to know and to be informed and to understand about the Islamic faith. Hey, we got a great lineup here. Now, I know the Digital Drive is going to take he's going to turn the corner. Today, the Digital Drive has to make that sharp right-hand turn that I normally make to get, you know, to kind of change directions. And he will. The Adolescent will. You know, he's kind of the opposite of a NASCAR driver. He can make that sharp right-hand turn. He can't turn left, but he can turn right. By the way, did you know we carry NASCAR? We have a NASCAR race this Sunday, 2:00, Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You know what? We're the only station in town that has NASCAR. We carry NFL. Now the season starts, not this weekend. They're off, but next weekend it starts in earnest. We'll go through that next week so you'll know what games. The NFL. By the way, if you don't know, Brady has won. The judges ruled in his favor, and they're all upset, and they're all, thinking the NFL's over. Oh, my gosh, but he wins his appeal for the 4-game suspension to be lifted. So that's good news. I'm glad to hear that for Brady. I thought this whole Inflategate was just minor, and there's so many more big issues in the NFL that, maybe they were using this to kind of deflect from that. But we carry the NFL. We have NASCAR here. We have a great lineup in the afternoons. Please, just if you take one day and listen to this radio station from the morning, and I'm going to say the morning, let's say 9 o'clock, all the way to about 7 in the evening. I know you're off and on, you can't listen to it all straight through, but if you take the time to listen to it, I guarantee you're going to be a loyal listener like so many have. We have converted the masses. They have come to the altar of Hot News Talk Radio, and we have converted them. And we're going to have the big baptism from 12:40 a.m. is what we're going to do. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Whew. All right, there's my Baptist preacher coming out of me. Every now and then that has to just kind of slip out. So I've got everybody in the studio looking at me. People, the poor adolescent ran out the front door, and he's still running. I hope we can get him back before his show starts here in just a minute. I'll go wrangle him down. I'll get the drone, follow him, bring him back if we have to. But in the afternoons after the Digital Drive, which is the number one this is the number one program on this radio station. But I guarantee you, he's carrying all those, he carries all the young listeners here. He carries all of the Canadian listeners. But I got him in my sights. You can tell him if you want to, but I got him in my sights. After him, we got Clutch with Keon Rose. Now, he's going to be all hyped up today. Tomorrow, he's going to be fired up because college football starts. Then come Tuesday, he's going to be in a depressed mode. Please call him on Tuesday and lift his spirits because I am going to bend him over and spank him so hard this weekend with my picks that he's not even going to want to come in here. So just, tell him, say, it'll be okay, Keon. Your listeners still love you, even though you don't know what you're doing when it comes to college football picks. It's okay. Then we have Confederate Mike. Have you listened to the Confederate Mike show? Oh, my. The issues he brings up. He brings up the hot, important issues of the day, and he also is very good about bringing up issues that, no one's thought about. So you got to listen. Clutch is on 1-2, Confederate Mike's 2-3, and then of course we got Hot News 5-6. In the 6 we got Cowboy up with Tex, the one and only, riding the range, roping the doggies, wrangling him some rattlesnakes. Call in and ask him about his rattlesnake wrangling. I know he'd absolutely love it. It is a Thursday here at Hot News Talk Radio. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be warm. Finally, we're getting some warm weather. Oh my gosh, it's climate change. Oh, you know, if you stop and think about it, if you go back to what they said about the last segment about the Quran instructs Muslims to lie to the infidels so they can get one over on us, so they can conquer us and all of that. So if you take that line of thinking and then you bring up a name like, let's say, Barack Hussein Obama, does that not fit together? Does that not kind of go together? That's just kind of a seamless way of looking things. So, I mean, Barack Hussein Obama, the biggest Muslim sympathizer in the world. I wonder why. Is it a fabrication? Is he believing just the first part of the Quran? Or is he doing the instructions of the Quran? I'll let you think about that. I'll let that weigh on your mind. But with a name like Barack Hussein Obama and all of the wonderful things he's done for America the past 6.5 years, let me see. I'll start listing them now. And the first one is, okay, I don't have enough time to think about this, and nobody wants to listen to dead air. So you figure it out. Is Barack Hussein Obama part of this Muslim bunch that wants to lie to us, kill us, put that Sharia law in? Is that what he wants to do? I don't know. I don't think so. No way. He would never tell us that our healthcare costs are going down, would he? No, he would not do that. I mean, he is the great Barack Hussein Obama. Just give you some food of thought. Today, when the Mr. Judd Show is over, you're going to be saying, man, I got to think today. Tomorrow, I promise you, when it's over, there will be no thinking. You're going to be laughing. Your stomach's going to be hurting. You know, sometimes you spit your milk out of your mouth. It's going to be that kind of show tomorrow. Yes, I'll bring the cats. We'll be juggling cats. I might get the adolescent is back, by the way. He just come in the door. So he's going to be here for his show. And I've proclaimed it's a no earthworm Thursday on the adolescent show. Tomorrow, you never know what we're going to do here, do you? And you know why you never know what we're going to do here? Because I never know what we're going to do here. Have a great Thursday, everybody.